Shealy-Sorin. And it's a slightly different format. This is going to be a question and answer more so than anything else. So please feel free to tune in and ask any questions that you like. As long as I can answer them, of course, and we'll do the best we can. So just wanted to kind of go over and talk about some things in the meantime until we get questions. And one of the most important things that I can talk about is self-regulation. So as I see questions or comments come in, we'll jump in and we'll address those. In the meantime, what is the most important, essential thing that we can do that doesn't cost a single cent? Self-regulation. How does it work? There's biofeedback, there's all sorts of techniques, and the one program that I want to talk about now is Dr. Shealy's Biogenics program. Biogenics was literally developed by Dr. Shealy back in the 70s as part of his PhD thesis in self-regulation. And the idea and the main concept is that self-regulation is key if you want to avoid complications of things that are happening from the outside. In other words, mental, emotional, physical, and otherwise. There are several controlling organ systems in the body, and they include hormones, thyroid, autonomic nervous system, hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal, and also the immune system. Gut, or the GI, is another system that is very heavily involved in the regulation. And all of these systems are subject to self-control, self-regulation, and self-awareness. And I will jump in as we go along. What do you think about electromagnetic therapy, for example, Rife machine or light frequency waves? 100% yes. Now, there's different Rife machines out there. Now, there's one of my favorite statements, Nikola Tesla. If you want to understand the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. Why is that an important statement? Because everything starts with frequency and energy. Now, for anyone who doesn't, perhaps may not be aware, Rife was a brilliant inventor who put together a combination of literally very high force, high magnification microscope, and experimented with frequencies. And he literally came up with a table of content for various frequencies for various conditions, including infectious, but also metabolic and otherwise. And it's a wonderful thing, especially if you have a good machine and a good design. So yes, if you have it, use it. But electromagnetism is a part of every single cell. It's a part of cellular function, ATP energy production. It's a part of communications within cells, within organs, within everything, within the universe. Thank you. I appreciate that. So getting back to biogenics, because I do want to get back to that. The idea and the concept of self-regulation, and by the way, please feel free to jump in with the questions. This is not necessarily a one-way discussion. This is a two-way communication, and I'd love to hear from you and what you might want to share or discuss or ask. So how do we begin to self-regulate? The first thing is autogenic training. It's an exercise that was created in 1912, and it's been going strong since, and I'll come back to that. Okay, let's put up a question. Do you still have cell wellness? I'm not sure what that question, perhaps you can specify a little bit more. Everything works on a cellular level, and I do want to make sure that I say that, because when you talk about drugs, medications, it's about a cellular function or modification of cellular function. Cellular health and wellness, including electromagnetic, micro and macronutrition, supplements, and otherwise, critical, very critical for cellular health and the health of the system. Okay, let's see. Another question there. I see. I missed the studies from Dr. Shealy. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, if you feel free to reach out to us, and if we can help you find something, or if you want to share something, that'd be happy to do that. Okay, another. Okay. There is another one. Another question. I should say, I have hepatitis C and tried natural things for years. Let's put the question up, please. For years, but it stays. Would you say Havroni is worth a shot to finally get rid of it, even if it's a drug? I've had several patients, and even though I'm not a fan of conventional drugs when they're not necessary, in this case, with your having done everything that you mentioned, and especially if there's an opportunity to do something, this is what I call, and this is in everything, risk benefit mutual decision making. In other words, look at the risk, look at the benefit, put it together, and see how you want to proceed. I think in this case, and again, this is not medical advice per se, but it is absolutely essential to do what is helpful, and in this case, Havroni may be more helpful than risk. So I would give it a go. There are some side effects. It may feel like a flu type of symptoms, but I do have several clients who've completed the treatment, and they're doing fantastic. No remnant of active disease. So worth the shot. Now. There's a clarification on Dr. Shealy's work. So a crystal soak and this cell wellness soak. I think this may have been some time ago. It sounds vaguely familiar. I'll ask Dr. Shealy about that. But thank you. I appreciate you on that. If there's any other questions, please do jump in. In the meantime, I would like to go through one of the exercises, one of the founding exercises in autogenic training and biogenics, and it's called literally autogenic training, self-regulation training, and it goes something like this. So if you want to do this with me for a few minutes, you're welcome to. I would highly encourage that. If you're driving, of course, pay attention to the road, but if you can and you are in a position, sit down or lay down, get into a comfortable place, and just follow with me. And this is something that you say internally. It's a third eye, so to speak. It's biofeedback, information from the body to the body, and communications. Starting with a deep breath, scan your body, scan from your head, scalp, face, jaw muscles, neck, arms, from the shoulders down, chest, abdomen, hips, pelvis, legs, feet. And if there's any tension, or if there's any kind of discomfort, if it's absent, if it feels anything other than okay or good, just feel free to acknowledge. And then if you can do something about it, send some love, send some feedback to that area. And if there's nothing that you can do, if you have a chronic situation, just again, become aware and move on. There's a good word for detachment, for once you know what's going on and you cannot change that. So now we're going to get into the exercise. We're going to start with the first phrase. My arms and legs are heavy and warm. Visualize a nice warm blanket over your body, covering especially your arms, your legs, upper body, lower body. Next phrase is breathing in. Focus on the heartbeat. My heartbeat is calm and regular, like a grandfather clock. Next phrase is my breathing, and just pay attention to your breathing. Breathing in is free and easy, like a bird gliding through the air. Next phrase is my abdomen. I focus on the abdomen and breathing in. My abdomen is warm. Again, nice warm blanket across the abdomen. Next deep breath, my forehead is cool-headed, captain of my ship. And then last but not least, deep breath in, my mind is quiet and still. I am at peace. I am at peace. And then you can always add, every day and in every way I am getting better and better, which is one of the phrases that was used by Emile Coué, which is also around the early 1900s, a dentist in France who literally helped more people than a lot of his contemporary colleagues and a lot of our contemporary colleagues with just positive visualization. Every day in every way I am getting better and better. Now I just want us to go through what it is that we just did in the in the autogenic training. So my arms and legs are heavy and warm, literally stands for auto, for vagal or relaxation, opposite of activation or sympathetic. And the idea is you want to get to the place that the arms and legs truly are warm and heavy. Why is that important? When you're stressed, the sensor is cold, clammy, sweaty. So you can actually tell by touching your forearm or your neck or something of that nature, and you'll know generally when that's happening. But it's good to have a feedback, biofeedback. That's why this is the indeed biofeedback. And the idea is if it's cold and clammy and you're not in life-threatening emergency and it's an internal stressor, internal burnout, so to speak, that's not necessary for your physiological function, you can do better with a calm mind and the calm physiology. So this is where my arms and legs are heavy and warm. My uh, heartbeat is calm and regular is also very important because that's tuning into your cardiovascular system. My breathing is free and easy, uh, like a bird gliding through the air. It relates to the prana, relates to the blood pH, regulation of the enzymes, lots of benefits. Abdomen warm is the greatest chemical factory. Forehead cool, I'm in control, biofeedback. And my mind is quiet and still. It's right here, right now, present in the moment. It's a beautiful thing. The idea is to be able to train and do this so that in one breath, one moment, well, a little longer than a moment, you're okay, no matter what's happening. And I use that in the emergency room every single day when I'm there. Oh, we have another question. Okay, yes, I can try this. I notice my left hand is tight. Interesting. Usually is. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading that. Usually is at night. Ah, that's interesting. That's because a stress response will occur, interestingly enough, more so at night because you're no longer distracted by all the other things that we're focusing on. So the body is now going through all of that. What happened during the day now? And there you go, especially the fingers. And so the idea here is there's another part of this message. Left arm, someone said, is a pinched nerve in the neck. Well, if it's a pinched nerve and it's just one side, then that's a different story. That needs to be checked out. And part of our practice, regenerative and holistic and functional, we always check things out. And especially this would be an MRI, maybe in perhaps neck, depending on exam, or it could be another area. Which could be radiating, but it certainly needs to be checked out. The idea behind autogenic training is that in the one breath technique, you are able to biofeedback and you're able to create a much needed relaxation reset so that your body doesn't have to go through the stress response in the hours or days following of physiological outcomes of that, which are not good for you. The PEMF question, does your PEMF device help nerve-related injuries? Potentially, absolutely. I will never say cure or the words of that nature, but it can potentially be of significant service. And I can just literally relate my personal story when I had a motor vehicle accident. And I ended up with a significant injury to the back, blowout fracture. I was nearly paralyzed for a bit. And in the process of recovery, I used the PEMF quite a bit. And the setting that I used the most was to assist and to aid in recovery, especially cellular optimization, ATP, energy production, and other functions. And well, happy to say that I'm very happy and glad where I am right now. So that's all I can say. But obviously, your experience, would love to hear it. So let's see. Any other questions? So let's kind of get back to the exercises and the biogenics, and I'll just keep on rolling until we're almost done here. But from autogenic training, the idea is learn that and make that first step in self-regulation, because once you get a glimpse of what you can do, then there's the whole biogenics program. And the biogenics program is 68 various exercises with biofeedback for the entire physical, mental, emotional, and even spiritual. And one of the things that one of my favorite exercises on the spiritual end, for instance, is who am I? I have a physical body, and I am more than my physical body. I have thoughts, feelings, and emotions, what we call the control center. I'm more than that. In other words, I'm not defined by my thoughts, my feelings, and my emotions. Doesn't that feel good to know that? I am a spiritual being. Well, however you want to say it, I don't tell people what to believe, how to believe, but the big thing is I am more than my physical, mental, and emotional. Therefore, I can change the patterns of the mental and emotional and physical, and I can change the outcomes of my life. And that is how that works. So, folks, if you want to regain control in life, if you want to know that you've got everything you have within you, and you do. God doesn't make junk. Obviously, autogenic training is step number one. Biogenics course for self-regulation, Dr. Shealy's creation back in the 70s, over 36,000 successful outcomes towards self-regulation. Now, there's many ways up the mountain, but the only way to get started is to get started. So, energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla's one of my favorite quotes. If you want to understand the universe, look at those things and increase your vibe, so to speak. Well, stay healthy, stay good, and I think time is almost up. We'll see you on another Friday. Hopefully, we'll have a few more questions, and if not, I'm happy to present another topic of interest. Blessings, and have a